Okay, we're back.
Yep, we're back.
So, well, where do we even start now?
Well, we start at the start, obviously. See, my early high-risk move...
Hang on. Before we do that, we should acknowledge, to be fair, that you did work all day today and that you didn't make the list, right? We should actually acknowledge that, because I did spend probably about 2 hours putting this list together over a period of a few days. So, I quite like the list. I'm not sure about the Honey Badger, whether it fits, but the rest I think is pretty good.
See, the Honey Badger with the weapon overload upgrade is pretty fun.
Yeah, that's true. But I didn't have the points for that. And I was thinking that the Honey Badger, because I'm sort of, whenever I make a list, I'm trying to make a list for anybody, right? Because Aiden actually was going to bring Overlords.
Yeah, I have all the Overlords I own, 60 points worth, and I had Sucker Punch and Volt in there.
Yeah, and I basically said to Aiden, no mercenaries. So it is sort of, he was hamstrung a bit from what he wanted to take.
That's all right.
So yeah, but
good thing it's a card building.
yeah, good thing it's a card.
They're durable.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I think the special branch are definitely more survivable in close attack than any other democracy. You know.
That's it. The Defiance. That's the Surge tank?
Yeah.
The Defiance is amazing for just popping out.
Well, it's Surge 2,
great
right?
Alpha strike.
Like, I think
but
Electro
then it can
Tyrant...
just get hugged to death.
I think Electro Tyrant's Surge 2, isn't he?
Yeah, he's 2 or 3.
Yeah, which is like, the lower the strategy rating on a Surge model, the nastier it is, which is why they're always points accordingly.
And you get a 4 RA Surge like Electro Tyrant. I would have probably... The Deceiver list I had planned in my head did actually include Electro Tyrant and Mega Tyrant, because I wanted to have a go
Do that
at
thing that I was saying
yeah,
with
the double
Ravenous.
living weapon.
Oh, you're going to use Volt instead. Because Volt's a good thing, but he's easily taken out.
Yeah, I was going to potentially use Volt. I was probably going to stick Mega Tyrant into Volt's hands because Volt has Surge. So Volt would up from his ranged attack of 2 to a ranged attack of 4.
Oh, that's pretty nasty.
So I would have 2 RA4 Surge.
Because Mega Tyrant's special rules don't transfer to...
Just his ranged attack stat.
That's right, just his ranged attack stat. But the model holding Mega Tyrant, you actually get to use their special rules. So that makes sense, because early on when we had Electro Tyrant, we had that, does his Surge count when he 5-powers into someone else's hands? That didn't sound right.
Well,
when he living turbo. Yeah, we're living weaponed into someone else's.
It's dangerous when you put a living weapon in someone's hands.
Yeah. So it's that was pretty nasty, because he could just surge people off the table with double 4A surge shots, but we nerfed that. We nerfed it so the special rules don't transfer either. Yeah. But I see what you're saying about the other way there. No, I've never not thought of that.
Well, see, that's it. Now, Volt is pretty low SR, though, so it would only be useful for him to pop out towards the end and take a pot shot at, your Duke or someone like that. One of your big models that is late in turn order to benefit from the Surge, unless someone stacked cubes for shield boosts and whatnots.
Yeah.
So going to the list I did have, I did really hope to get the Alpha Strike out with Dark Angel to drop the Badger in the one shot. I did have to overcommit Anger. I didn't want to do that, but it was I fell into the sunk cost fallacy. I was like, well, Dark Angel's out in the middle of nowhere now. I have to finish off the Badger.
Yeah, I do that. I fall into that all the time.
With the Badger in the section.
You'd think, this plan's going to work. I think, was it last game we played where Avaricon...
you overcommitted up in the corner.
I overcommitted up in the corner thinking, I'll blast that guy out of the way, and then it's just 1-on-1. But I think I left Basher with like 1 damage left, which sucked. And then I got 2-on-1, and that wasn't good.
Well, a Trasher with 1 point of damage left is a very deadly thing.
Yeah, well, that's true. But I thought, well, I could probably take on 1, but not 2. And so, yeah, it makes a big difference when that happens. And that actually happens to me all the time, actually. It's quite annoying. Like over here, you know, what happened over here? I can't remember now. Like, I failed to damage someone over here. Was it Crawl? Failed to kill him.
Yeah, you didn't kill him, but I got to say the convoy had to be your MVP.
Oh, yeah, well,
It had some amazing close combat rolls.
It did. It actually rolled almost better in close attack than it did in ranged attack.
Boop boop, I'm a truck.
Well, in all fairness, an armoured battleship.
I'm a flying truck.
Yeah. He doesn't talk like that, by the way.
Well, I don't know what the people inside talk like. Why don't you give me your best Wong Lee?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, I didn't think so.
Oh dear. But yeah, look, 16 points a model. Convoy is definitely a nasty. I was going to put Lucky on Convoy, and that would make it pretty really survivable. But I thought with only 5 damage on Freedom Eagle, I really need those. Like, basically the spears of my list were just these 2 models.
Oh yeah, it have to be, because the Convoy's range attack is just so tonked to begin with. And the target matrix on Freedom Eagle.
Yeah, it almost makes it this identical models.
Because your target matrix is giving you... well, it's better than ground to air, because it's...
That's right, it's against everybody.
It's against everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And also they're quite manoeuvrable with the jetpack. You do the pop-out shots initially, but even with the third activations, like, that makes a big difference.
Oh yeah.
I forgot about third activations about 3 times.
I hate jetpack. You love it. Well, I hate it because I'm always playing against it.
Well, I love it, but I'm still learning it because it's like you're getting the cubes that you would normally have for a 2 activation model, but you have to somehow work in that they've got 3 activations. Like, there was multiple times there where I used 2 activations for Convoy and had 1 cube left. I completely forgot about the fact that he could just use that cube and shoot again. So I'm still getting used to having I do love jetpack, but it actually is it's sort of hard to... I think that if you had a, like, if you know, I'm hoping that we have our first Spot War tournament this year. I think you'll see a jetpack list in the top.
The challenge, though, is the factions that bring a reasonable amount of jetpack generally don't have great batteries, and obviously that's by design.
Yeah, of course.
But
yeah, and that's right. I tried to pick like Desert Dogs, for instance, as a battery, but it's still 7 points compared to some people can get batteries for, like, 4 points, right?
That was one of the main reasons I wanted to take out the Honey Badger early, because it was a free double kill and it was negging you a lot of cubes. That's
5 cubes all up. Yeah. So, well, essentially probably 6 cubes because he's efficient.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes a...
Is the Honey Badger still efficient? I thought
No, it's not efficient.
You've taken that off.
Yeah. So it's got iron skin. It's obscure though.
Okay.
So, but yeah. Which I didn't use, of course. When you shot. But that doesn't matter. I think you still would have killed it anyway. So, but yeah, like, it's... When you place the models, the 7 models down, though, you think to yourself, oh yeah, it actually doesn't look like that much. But usually in 80 points, you only... Like, we've been playing some games where we've been getting, like, 10 models per side. That's, like, on the high end of the scale for Bot War.
You could, in theory... I think I actually worked up a Snake Core list with 19 models.
Well, I think I ran 12 or 13 models with an Infestor list, and it was getting quite unwieldy. You need to, like, have a brain the size of Gorgs to be able to, like, deal with.
Especially with the Infestors having the Resurrection, and because...
Yeah, that's right. It was just, like, I found myself just throwing troops away because there was too many to deal with. So...
You die now, you hurt my brain.
yeah. But yeah, like you can. It's like the first couple of turns when you've got like 12 plus or 10 plus models, like are quite long and arduous. But usually by like turn 3 or 4, it's like at reasonable standards, you know.
Well, that's it. You sort the weak.
Because they die a lot quicker. Like I think the clones were only like 3 or 4 damage, with like 1 or 2 shields, so they die quite quickly. So
yeah, but of course they have the problem of coming back because they're just sitting there going, "I got better."
yeah, but it only happens once, right? And they come back on 1 damage. So and they come back at the back of the board. So yeah.
Having never ran Infesta clones in sort of the modern game, I would assume the call there would be, if you're putting them back on the back line, turning them into cheap, inefficient batteries.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, definitely. But usually by that stage, you're not really getting starved for energy because, if anything, the clones are taking up your energy, right? Because you don't get enough. You have to take it to get. You have to really distribute it. But yeah, it's interesting. They probably don't quite work exactly how I want them to work yet, but it's very close. I think I'm going to separate the swarms out into singles as well.
Okay.
So, but
for the turbo squad platoon rules.
Turn them into squad platoon for how they currently are. But anyway, but I'm pretty pleased with this. You know what? I'd never looked at the Freedom Eagle 1 before. Like, obviously, I made the rules for it.
Wasn't it like literally the first democracy vehicle?
Yeah, but I always thought, 15 points is too expensive, right? Like,
Target matrix though.
Yeah, and that's why, like, I often when I make the rules, like, I start off like I'm in the zone, if you know what I mean. Like, in the zone, you think, right, okay, target matrix, what does that do? Oh, that's really nasty, right?
Yeah.
And so you actually get the points quite right, but then when you come back, 3 months later and you've never seen that model before, you come back and you go, 15 points seems a lot when you're making a list. And you don't, but recently when I was looking, I thought, you know what? Because I was looking at that or Freedom Eagle 2. I thought, maybe the invisibility would be really handy to have on Freedom Eagle 2. Then I looked at that, I thought, geez, target matrix, because I know how incredibly well they do on the Snake Corp attack chopper.
Yeah.
And I thought, yeah, that'll be my 2 heavy hitters. So, and everything else in between is either feeding that or running the back line. So, but Dark Angel, you could pretend, like you were saying, if you ran Ravenous, Dark Angel, Mega Tyrant, and Electro Tyrant, that could be one of the nastiest.
You have 5 points left over. You could throw one of the mini bots in
for another battery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the selfish human for the 5 points and a cube that can't just get shot off like a symbiote.
That's actually, I think you might struggle with claiming objectives with that.
Yeah, but you've just got RA4 for days.
Well, hang on a minute. Is it going to be that nasty? Because you're not going to take advantage of any of the firepower because no one's going to. You got no one except for the mini bot.
No, I wasn't going to be bringing Ravenous. He was too expensive.
Okay, Volt.
Potentially, yeah.
So I was going to say you got no one to take advantage of the firepower rule.
I didn't have Dark Angel in the list because for 15 points to bring a third RA4 model wasn't necessary when you could focus on some people who are really bad at ranged shooting, like Rambot, and just put a weapon in his hand.
Yeah. Yeah, Rambot is pretty nasty, actually. Although, I wonder how he will go up against the Trashers. Although we did play him against the Trashers.
Rambot is basically a Trasher stat line.
Yeah, that's right.
I have to say, I probably wouldn't have, if I built my own list, I wasn't probably going to be bringing Symphony and Crazy.
Symphony's great.
Yeah, Crazy, he did a job, but like he was replaceable. Symphony, because Disorientate, really the only other model that we've consistently seen it used with is the Nightbird.
Yeah.
But then whenever you run the Nightbird, I just hug it to death.
Yeah, I know. I can never write. But I can't work out dedicated flyers.
But-
They're just confusion.
Yeah, having Symphony just run into the middle of all your guys, strip those shield dice off. I was hoping it would let me clean up and knock out some more units.
There's something to being like such a small, crappy model that's not actually pumping out that much damage. That somehow he's not a priority target, right?
No.
Like if you've got Craw and Communicator sitting side by side, then you've got Symphony sitting there. Well, everyone's going to shoot Craw and Communicator, right? Because they're the models that are going to take models off the table. But it's actually Symphony that's probably causing the most damage there.
Yeah, stripping out
Yeah.
up to 2 points of defence from each dice roll.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's interesting. And I thought, I did think that Selenia would get a ram attack in.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
she's not that bad. Like, movement 9 is great.
Well, I don't think you've got a single model in the game that's double figures movement. 9's the cap, isn't it?
No, there's a 10.
Who's the 10?
Is it the Nightbird?
Oh, yeah, possibly, yeah.
Yeah. There's a moth here. Yeah, Nightbird, I think,
Yeah.
is 10.
Okay, well, a model that can
Oh,
ram
and the
attack.
Terrabugs. Terrabugs are 10, I think. Or 9.
Yeah, they're pretty big. I don't think they're a 10, though.
I think they... well, I thought they were 10, 9 or 10.
This is compelling viewing.
Yeah, I don't know. We're just chatting. I don't know whether people like this sort
Pull
of stuff.
up the stat list and tell us who's right and who's wrong in the comments.
Yeah. Well, maybe we wind it up there then. Have a bit of a chat. We've had a bit of a chat about the game. I did definitely think the turning point in the game for me was when Convoy killed Communicator.
Yeah, losing Communicator hurt because he wasn't doing a lot himself, but just locking down the Freedom Eagle. Communicator's 15 points, but
Oh, he's up there in the top 10 models of the game.
using him it was the sneaky tricks and me trying to play as best I could to the Deceiver's strengths, with Symphony and Communicator being the driving forces there. It definitely made a difference because without Communicator, Freedom Eagle would have been running roughshod over me with target matrix.
Yeah, well, you
and
essentially
short
took him
range.
out for like 3 turns.
Mm.
So, yeah, which is
And-
very frustrating
well-
actually if you get trapped like that.
Giving me the jump on Phoenix.
That's
so
right.
It took Phoenix out of the game.
Yep.
Phoenix couldn't activate. He was hugged, so the next turn.
Which
he was
means
ripped
that
apart.
Craw survived, because Craw's an air warrior, essentially.
See, it all rolls into each other. If only I'd rolled slightly better, Anthony.
Oh, get out of here!
Oh, you were rolling amazingly.
Oh,
close.
yeah.
Come on, what
What
are
did
these
I roll like
close
6
combat
dice
rolls?
and got 2? Yeah, nah. I'm sorry. You're never going to try and convince me that you roll worse dice than me, mate. Like, it's just not possible. Anyway, guys, I hope you like this sort of post-game wrap-up. Let us know in the comments if you want us to continue doing these.
You know what they could do? They could always post some questions they have
Oh, yeah.
and bring topics for discussion to the table.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, well, that's it. You've had that thread out there asking what people wanted to see in 2021.
Yep.
There was a lot of engagement there, a lot of food for thought.
Yep. There some good ideas
Yeah.
too, actually.
Who knows what people can bring to the table or what they can bring out from questioning rules or direction or...
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, we actually do, we really do like talking rules. So definitely know Aiden likes talking the rules. He's right into that sort of stuff. But I like talking the rules as too because it helps me. Like, there might be stuff that I've completely missed, right? And when you talk rules, you think, oh yeah, that and that connects to that. So it's just easier to make those connections when you're writing the rules and going through them and stuff like that. Not that I necessarily remember all the rules. Anyway, guys, hope you like this video and let us know in the comments. And like I said, like Aiden said, ask any questions about the rules if you want, and we'll do our best to answer them. Thanks very much. See ya.